Yeah, yeah. So she's the same age as my granddaughter.
Good afternoon, Ghosty Talk Shows family. It's Nomsa here at Ghosty Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. With me today, I'm with Annie from Everlasting. How are you, Annie?
I'm well, thanks, Nobster. And yourself?
Good, good. How is Australia?
Well, right now it's quite dark. It's after midnight, so and very hot today. Where today we had 37 degrees, and tomorrow they're expecting 42 degrees Celsius.
Is it
So
time
quite
for
hot.
you?
So summer has finally hit Australia.
Summer has finally hit Australia. Here is cold in the UK.
Yes, I have watched on YouTube the forecast for the weather in mostly Northern Europe, and it seems
Yeah.
to be a cold one this year. So yes, yes.
Awesome. So awesome. So welcome everyone to Ngozi Talk Shows where we focus on growth, self-empowerment, living your best life and finding your own voice, lead from within. So today we're going to dive into the topic that is really, really is essential. I stole this topic from Annie's programs, how to ignite passion, joy, and excitement in the woman you love. So, Annie, I know you created this program. So, I think I'm going to let you explain the topic to our audience. What was in your mind when you actually chose this topic and created to your clients?
Well, a lot of it started from, and I'll say this up front, I had been married once before my current marriage, and it was it was actually a very emotionally empty relationship. There was no connection. It was a good friendship. My ex-wife and I are now currently, and we've been divorced 25 years, which goes to show my age. Um, we have a good friendship. It just wasn't a good husband and wife team. There was no connection. And I just started to go and ask a lot of people who were successful in their relationship what the secrets were and what and then I've started doing courses from people who were an example of what they were teaching. They weren't just theory, they had the how to behind them with the research they've done as well. And then working as a therapist with couples, I've also found certain patterns that people do that make their relationship work or not work. And I've been able to put all that together in the form of a program. And then for a little while, I was teaching the programs as well. And I thought, well, this is all nice and fancy and dandy. Yeah, let's put it together as an audio program and share it around the world. And I thought that was just a lot easier and better. And I provide currently free support for any graduates who go through my programs.
I love when you say you were married. How long were you married for?
We actually hit the 7 year, what they call the 7 year itch cycle. So
I like
around
it when you say you were married, but there was no connection in a relationship. I like that because there are so many people who enter a relationship and then they lose that passion in a relationship. But I think it is really, how was your relationship like in the early stage? If you don't mind me asking, was it a successful or how was it?
on my first marriage,
Yeah, I mean, like if the first stage of a relationship was the 100%, or because sometimes the people they lose that connection because of the laziness and life being busy taking over. So, your relationship, if you don't mind me asking, how was
I,
it like?
ah, well, soon up, well, my oh, my ex-wife, she was a trainee nurse, and because she was from the country, her training was coming to an end. And so she actually moved in with me and my sister, and who is older than me. My sister is 7 years older than me. And so the three of us moved in together. And my sister has a daughter who was only 2, 3, 4 years old at that stage. So she was only a baby. And we all moved in together. We had our own separate bedrooms, etc., etc. Um, Having two women in a household, especially in the kitchen, is not a good idea.
Yeah.
Um, they both wanted to control the household. Um, so they, even though they were close, they still clashed. As a result, my ex-wife, her name's Linda. Linda and I used to argue quite a bit as well. Yet we were good enough to not let the arguments break us apart. So, and then Linda came to the stage. This was after about 3 years of living together, the three of us with my niece. When Linda said, "Look, I've had enough. It's either basically let's move out together or I'm out of here." And I thought about it because I was looking after my niece as well in that time quite a bit. I was taking her to preschool, etc., etc., etc. So I was like the father image to my niece. And admittedly, I was supposed to put my partner first at the time. Being young and naive, I had no idea. People say put your family first. No, when you're in a relationship, you put your partner first. Um, Especially when you're married, because you marry your partner, not your parents, and not your siblings. So, having said that, we did move out. We were together for a year, and then we got married. And soon after that, I got a transfer with my job to from Sydney to Canberra, which Canberra being the capital of Australia. And Linda stayed back. She actually moved in with my sister. And for 4 months weekly, Linda would come down and apply for a job. And until she got a job, she was a nurse and she got a job. That 4 months took a big toll on Linda. So it was halfway through our honeymoon actually that I got the transfer. So our honeymoon got cut short by half, which is not a good way to start a marriage. And then being separated because I moved down to Canberra while Linda stayed in Sydney, moved in with my sister. So Linda moved down, and we used to argue a lot. Apparently, yeah, like I said, we never really let that be a determining factor whether to break up or stay. And so I personally never had that passion. I never did have that connection. Linda was back then more so very much a no person. It's like, can I have an ice cream? No. Let's go and do this. No. Can we do that? No. Well, I'd like to do this. No. Uh, I jokingly say to people, I was surprised she said yes to getting married. And I largely asked her due to pressure from the in-laws, from Linda's parents, because they were saying, well, look, you're together 4 or 5 years or 4 years, whatever it was, when are you getting married? And my mum had passed away by that stage. My mum passed away when I was 19. My mum did meet Linda before she passed away. And because I was a patient in hospital, that's actually how we met. And so then once mum died, my dad basically disowned me and my sister for until I was 21. So I didn't see my father or speak with him until I was 21. My sister and Linda got in touch with my dad for him to come down to Sydney because he had moved and come down for my 21st birthday. So we started to have contact again. And then I got married at 23. I know I'm not answering the question. I'm going a long way in the shortcut here. I'm just trying to give a whole history here. And then soon after the wedding, Dad remarried and moved to the Philippines, who I haven't heard from since. So he would have crossed over by now, surely, because otherwise he'd be 90 something, and I don't think he'd live that long. So my gut feeling is that he's gone. Um, so yeah, I've been speaking with him in about 30, 35 years. So getting back to the with Linda and I, Yeah, I never had that connection with her, never had that excitement sort of thing of having a girlfriend. It was just like a friendship, really, that turned into a marriage due to external pressure, I
Don't you
suppose.
think when you guys met up, you were like, she moved in with your sister, and you moved in with you, the two women, and your niece, and everything? You didn't get that privacy that time. Maybe you just, or maybe you were a rescue or something. What do you think?
To a point, yes. Um,
Because the way I'm listening to it, it sounds like you were a rescue or something.
well, there wasn't anything to, in terms with my niece, possibly more so, because I was sort of helping my sister out. I was sort of quote unquote rescuing her, I suppose. And she used to start early in the morning, like 5:30 in the morning,
No,
so
no,
she
I
had
mean
no.
with you and your relationship because love has you can live with your family in the house, the whole of your family, the whole of your bloodline, but it shouldn't have to affect your relationship. Because I think somehow, uh, this learning now because when I listen to you when you talk about your missus, you always talk about how with passion you have these romantic ideas that you want to do the things that you want to do the surprises, but I think
Yep.
before then you were young and so naive.
Yeah. You see, like with my current wife, I have that desire to be romantic, to be
Yeah, yeah,
loving,
yeah.
caring. I never had that with Linda. Linda, there's no chemistry there. It's not her fault. It's just two different people who aren't emotionally connected, I suppose. Uh, we're actually more connected now than before because I've created that. I know how to create that. Yeah. Whereas back then, maybe because she had a bit more masculine energy than feminine, Linda. So there was no that real attraction. And so being romantic with someone who's not really feminine, maybe that was what turned me off. Yet even now, let's say I was single and Linda was still a friend. Could I ever be romantic with her? I just don't get that vibe. I just couldn't do it. It just is not there. So sometimes either people, yeah, it's hard to explain if that makes sense. So yeah, so it was always missing that desire to be romantic, to be so being a rescuer. I don't think so. Um, yeah, no, even in
I
the early
like
days.
your So now I like the idea of the topic, like uh, how to ignite passion, joy, and excitement in the woman you love. I like it because for me, my experience when it comes to men, the experience that I have had was being judged. When someone is dating me, they're judging me, no
Yep,
actually getting to know me, getting to know the things that I love to do. Or it's either
yep,
they are judging me or they are trying to control me to become the woman that they want. So I'm like,
yep,
you found me like this. Why would you want to change me? So this is where I get confused. And then it also, there's this thing that really the men they do, what men do is they want to date somebody, but when
mhm,
they're dating somebody, they want their relationship to be run by their family. It's like everything that you do, it has to be best with their own family, what their family are doing. So for me as a woman, I would say this to every man out there who is watching this talk show that if you're dating someone's child, don't hate them. Don't hurt someone's feelings by,
Yep.
when you tell somebody that I want to be with you, your sister doesn't don't get involved in a relationship, or your mother or your father. For me, I'm so grateful for my in-laws that they brought this person. They're so beautiful. They brought this person up to my life. But
Yep.
what I end up confused with men is when I'm dating a guy, it's like I love to create. I'm a very, very, very family authentic, family oriented person. I love family. I was
Yep.
raised by my family. I'm really, really close to my parents. I'm really, really close to my family. But my
Mm.
closeness is not this for dinner or anything like let's go out for a meal and have fun. My closeness, it means when you cry, I cry with you. So it's
Yep.
that kind of a strong relationship with the bond that I have with my family. So at the same time, when I'm dating the guy, I like to have that bond and the guy to have that bond with his family. But at the same time, I like to create my own memories, and I
Sure.
like to be me. But I find that the guys, even with my clients, the guys don't, like more, some men, they don't understand that they've got to be a man. A man has to be a man. He has to put it, because family, when you're single, they want to do things with you. But when you are
Yep.
no longer single, they got, a man has to put his foot down. A real man would create memories with his family. So I'm wondering whether you as a man, have you ever had that problems, like where you find like your spouse, they feel neglected? Because for me, I just feel like when I talk to my clients, I ask them what was like who are divorced, like or some of them they've been in a relationship, and it comes down to one thing where a man does not understand what does it mean, like the topic, like how to ignite passion, joy, and excitement in the woman you love. So I'm trying to get to you as a man, like, can you explain to me, like to other women, what does it mean with the excitement? Why is there something like you recognize as a man that actually us men we should do this in order to excite, bring that joy to a woman?
Well, first of all, your partner needs to come first. Yeah, your parents gave you birth. I understand that, and we feel indebted to them. Yet, from a looking forward perspective, we're going to have, well, most of us are going to have children.
Yeah,
So therefore, that gets passed down the track. So we don't need to feel indebted to our parents because, yes, our parents gave birth to us. Yeah, we're going to give birth to our children. So we don't need to feel indebted. Yes, love our parents and family and look after them and all that sort of stuff. Yet at the end of the day, we marry our partner to start a new family and to keep the family or to keep the species going. And that needs to be the number one priority. A lot of women feel, I guess, abandoned in the relationship because a lot of men, especially successful men, they spend maybe 12 hours a day, 7 days a week away from home. So they start getting bored. They feel like they're not important and that they don't matter and that they're invisible. And this is one thing I mentioned in my program is the number one reason for people having affairs or problems in the relationship is because we feel that we don't matter. And if we feel that we don't matter, people think, well, if I don't matter to you in a good way, I'll go and matter to you in a negative way. So they'll start the arguments, they'll start the affairs, they'll go and do whatever they can to matter, even if it's in a negative way, because the negative is better than the nothingness that I'm getting. And it's still a form of connection. And one other thing I also teach is something called the 10-second kiss. So when, let's say the wife's home first and the husband comes home later on, or boyfriend, whatever, when he comes first, before the kids get to him, before the dogs and the pets get to him, give your partner a 10-second kiss and 20-second hug. And what that does, that sets off the endorphins, the happy drugs or happy chemicals, hormones in our body, which then sets the scene for the rest of the night. And because so many people, and this used to happen with me, with Linda, I used to come home and she'd be on the phone, she'd be opening the mail, she'd be doing whatever. And then it's like, I haven't seen you all day. And then she'd rather be doing something else. So a lot of people feel ignored when they first see their partner. And so that's why I teach about the 10-second kiss and the 20-second hug because it creates that connection. And so that's one of the biggest reasons because we feel that we don't matter. When we're dating, we all bring out our best sides during that quote honeymoon period until things settle and then we get to start seeing the real person. And a lot of men also, they think that they have to chase after the woman to win her over. And once they won her over, then they can sit back and relax and go, huh, well, that took a lot of effort. Not realizing that what the female is thinking is whatever it took for you to get me is going to take you 3 times as much for you to keep me. So his work's really just begun when he's won her over. And so if he's not maintaining not her yet the relationship, and this is both sided, so I'm not picking on sides here. As the relationship is not maintained, things like anything else begin to fall apart.
Yeah, I think it's really, really important both parties, like when they get together to actually understand the importance because I listened a lot. I listen a lot to like to my clients and when they speak, it's like mostly when you ask them questions and I'm thinking why do men, like even with my experience, I'm thinking, why would somebody want to date somebody? It's like to hurt them. And I don't think, I'm sure there are some women who do the same as well, like to date somebody and then they don't put them first, and that person, they get hurt
Yep,
and then the relationship it doesn't work. But mostly I think it is mostly is our childhood attachment that actually affects that relationship. Because with my first relationship I had a really long-term relationship and with my first daughter, and I realized that we were both we never put our relationship first. We
yep,
were all pleasing other people instead of
mm,
creating our own memories. But we were like, when you're pleasing, when you're a people pleaser, at the end of the day, it's not funny anymore. You're getting frustrated. Like
mm,
sometimes we will arrange to go out and plan things, and then is someone, and then the friends, and then we end up planning things with friends, and then we end up planning things with family, and we're not really doing things of our own. But what I've
yep,
realized is at that moment we were so very, very lucky because my in-laws, they would take our child was our child, but Monday to Friday. And then if from Friday, yeah, from Friday to Sunday, the grandparents, from the day that my daughter was born, they would take her every weekend. In their mind, it's like we're giving you time to spend time as a couple, but we're not spending time as a couple. We're spending time pleasing people.
yeah. So you're missing out on each other. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So we were
yeah,
not really spending time, but now that I'm a relationship coach, is where now I'm realizing that actually we were responsible for destroying our relationship because we were so like, sometimes the
yeah,
people, they don't have a family like that. But
yeah,
as we had that beautiful family, the parents were like the in-laws. My in-laws were like Monday to Friday they will come and pick my daughter up, meaning she'll come back Sunday in the evening or maybe Monday morning or
mm,
yeah Sunday evening. That is around 7 or 8. Meaning we
yep,
have that weekend every weekend. I mean every weekend, but
Mhm.
our relationship still, in the end, it had to end because he wasn't happy, I wasn't happy. So
Yeah,
all those things, I think the importance is when you meet together to actually ignite that passion, is to actually value yourself and value the person. It's just that gratitude. Like when I'm sure with your ex-wife, you never had the feelings that you have this gratitude, because every time when I speak to you about your wife, you always have this big passion about her being part of your life, and there's so much passion, and which I love that. So
yeah.
yeah, so yeah, well done. I love that. Honestly, I like a man who actually, and a woman who appreciate the relationship that they have. Because if we don't appreciate that relationship, it doesn't work.
A large part of that is a couple of things I just want to quickly mention is a lot of women think that when they have children, the children need to come first. And yes, don't get me wrong.
No,
Yes, children
no.
need to be looked after and all that, especially in the first few years. Yeah, at the same time, and I'll give one example in my program. There's a couple. They go to the movies, and the wife's got her 3-year-old baby with her, and they're at the movies, and she's going googie 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 ga, aren't you gorgeous to the baby? And the husband turns around and he says, "Darling, would you like some popcorn, drinks, ice cream, whatever he's asking?" And she goes, "No." And he's thinking, what? Only 3 months ago, I was in the position of that baby. She was cooing and gooing with me. So, do you think that's going to create a nice, loving, passionate relationship when he goes home? Will he want to be intimate with her? No chance on earth. So, like what you've just said, we need to put our partner and relationship first. Because you know what? In 20 years' time, that baby won't be there. It would have moved out of home, depending on the culture. Yeah, it would have more than likely packed up its bags, moved out of home, and got a partner. And bye bye, mummy, and bye bye, daddy. And you know what? If you're not looking after your partner, they won't be there either. So we need to look after our partner and put them in the relationship first. As a result, the baby or the child gets looked after as well. So that's one thing I want to mention. And one thing about the passion I have with Milena, my current wife, is I often, very often, have her have something to look forward to. And that's one thing that women need as well. They need something to look forward to. So if you've got a normal routine where you come home and you're doing the same thing and you're cooking and he comes home from work, blah, 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 she needs to have something to look forward to. So as a man, you can say, sweetheart, look, I've got a surprise for you. We need this weekend off. It's a surprise. We're just going away for the weekend. I won't tell you where. And she's going to be happy for the next 2, 3 months, having that anticipation of something to look forward to, where she knows, look, the baby's being looked after. It's only you and the partner. You don't take your baby with you. You make sure you've got a babysitter. So she has something to look forward to. She has that future anticipation, that positive anticipation. So as I don't want to mention it here because I will be sending this video to Milena, even though she doesn't speak English. She may find someone who will translate it for her. So I don't want to mention how I'm planning to surprise her when I get there, because that's still a surprise. Yeah, I often tease and anticipate her in respect of just the other day I sent her a message saying, with all the gifts and everything, do you have enough room on the floor to fit me inside a box? Thinking that I'm going to jump outside of a box. There's some YouTube shorts of a guy he gives a rose to a female on a train, and then he gives her a note with a little saying, and then he walks away, and she invites him over, and she lays it down, and he gives her a hug because she looks like she's having a bad day. And so I sent that to Milan. I said, "Look, when I see you, is one rose enough to win you over?" Not knowing that I'm going to send her a lot more than that. Again, I don't want to say here how many, yet it's a lot more than one rose, I can tell you. Um, yeah. So you and I can talk about this later on. So I'm teasing Milena in that respect. So she's got all these things to look forward to,
You look
or I'll
forward
tell
to.
her, I've told her, look, I bought this 3D jigsaw of Hogwarts from Harry Potter. Oh, to let you know, I bought another 15 jigsaws. So, but she's got so much of things to look forward to when I get there that she's going to be. My plan is that she's beside herself on a daily basis, thinking, "How on earth is he going to visit me? How on earth is he going to surprise me?" And so I build that fairly regularly. And then also once I'm there, things to do, places to see, things to do. So she has that positive anticipation of future plans, and it shows to her that I'm not a fly by the seat of my pants, or whatever the phrase is, sort of guy. Is when we first met. Um, I said to her when we first got together, I said, "Look, I'm not here for 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 months, or 5 years. I'm here for life with this relationship." And I stuck by that, and she knows that. So even when she gets poopy with me, and even when she gets angry with me, because she's really good at that, and then I tease her. Once I sent her a message and I said, "Sweetheart," I said, "You are so sexy that you're angry with that." And I won't say what I said. Let's just say it. We'll leave it to the imagination. And this is why I texted, because I was here. And let's just say it would have definitely changed her state. It's something that no one else would have said to her. So yeah, I'll even sing her songs when she's angry, just to because. And I seem to be one of the very few. Actually, I will say this, and it's not an ego-driven thing, because with her life, she goes to work, looks after her kids and grandchildren, helps parents out, and it's a very robotic, her life. There's not much variety in her life. So I seem to be the one that brings in the humour, the surprises, the fun, and if she didn't have that, uh, I think she'd be very, very bored personally, just with her lifestyle, because it's very routine, like a lot of people. And that's another reason why people have affairs, and a lot of people are unhappy because they're on that same treadmill day after day after day, and without that positive anticipation that I was speaking about, or without that variety, and it doesn't have to be every day. Once every month, once every couple of months, or once every 3 months, take your partner away. That's something I talk about. Is something called the mini moon. Is where you take your partner away for a weekend without the kids, and you just escape. And doesn't have to be expensive. A cheap hotel. There was one couple that the husband had just lost his job, so he didn't have much money, and he set up a little tent in his backyard. And he had the little red carpet, or he had, I think it was made out of paper, like a little red trail instead of carpet, heading towards the tent in his backyard, and set that up. And that was their little weekend getaway. So it doesn't have to be expensive. People think, oh, women want a lot of money spent on them. No, women can spend money on their own. They don't need a man to spend a lot of money on them. So it's the little things that mean so much. It's those memories that we create that mean so much.
Yeah,
And
it doesn't have to be extravagant or anything. It's just a simple memories. I
simple
think they
memories.
make a big difference. I always
Yeah,
say to my videos when I'm like, people will be like, but we don't have money. We are not fortunate to have money you don't need money in a relationship to actually make it work.
yeah.
Uh, you can actually, I grew up in Africa. My mom, she was married to my stepdad. My stepdad comes from a wealthy family, and
Mhm.
my dad, he was a teacher. My granddad was really, really rich, but when he died, his money got scattered. They've lost it all, children.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I got to live a normal life with my dad. So I know how is it like to live a normal life where you're not rich, but you're okay and just be
Hmm.
happy. I see my dad, he was happy, he was always there for us, for his family. We
Yep.
do things together. I don't think is all about like going out, doing things. You can find things creative, and also a man
Yeah.
like I like to see a man like doing a handiwork. Like I get so excited when a man is doing a handiwork. I'm just watching there giving instructions and pretending to be helping and messing things about. So it's just those little things that I think we take for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the little things that as human beings, because even myself, for me to learn all these things, it was then where I had to stand back and
Yep.
learn from my past mistakes. And but I created those mistakes. I didn't like judge myself as a mistake or as a failure. I used
Yep.
them to create skills that I didn't have. And then
Yep.
and that's when I then realized actually we take life for granted. And that's
We do.
why whatever I do in life, if I've got, it's like even my daughter's dad, I don't live with him, my ex.
Hmm.
I always value him. I always know how much he is valued, just
Yep.
for being there as a dad. Because easily, when you split up with someone, is people just go and they disappear. They can choose to disappear, but he
Yep.
chose to stay and be there for his daughter. So I
That's
always
great.
show that gratitude. The little things,
Yep.
yeah, that people do, I always show the gratitude because I know if someone does, if you they don't see the gratitude, they don't feel valued, and I'll
Yep.
feel the same as well. So it's really, really important for every man out there and every woman out there to value yourself and also
Yep.
value the person, like Annie, you said, the children, they grow up, they go to university. What are you going to do after they're gone? So,
Yeah. Or even once they start school,
yeah, once they
once
start
they
school, you
home.
have nothing to do.
Yeah.
Do you have
Yeah.
any
And
words of encouragement? And
or lost your voice. Can't hear you. Your voice is gone.
talking to
Ah,
someone,
now that's it.
I thought you had the words of encouragement for people.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Uh,
words of encouragement would you like to leave with people?
encouragements.
Yeah,
So I'm going to start off with something that's going to sound negative, yet it's not. Not all relationships are worth saving. If someone's in an abusive relationship, say it's physical abuse, or say with someone who's on drugs, sometimes it's better to leave.
yeah,
Uh, Narcissism is a very highly used word these days, and I think it's misdiagnosed a lot of the time. And I'll give you one quick example. And this is in lesson one. There's a couple that have been married for 25 years. And every Friday night, he would go out with his mates and go out to the pub and come home and he'd get drunk. And every Wednesday night there'd be an argument because the wife knew what was about to happen on Friday night. And so after getting through my program, what happened was she went up to her husband on the Wednesday and Thursday and she said, "Sweetheart, I know you work hard all week. You deserve to have time out with the boys. You go out and enjoy yourself, and I'll even stay home and stay up and have a snack waiting for you." So what does he say? He says, don't start for me. I don't know what time I'll be home, and don't have a snack waiting for me. He was on what they call automatic pilot. That was his automatic response. Let it be known that was the first time in their 25-year history or 25-year marriage that he came home early and he wasn't drunk. So I don't care if after he left and he thought, wow, that was something really nice that she said to me or whatever. Yet the thing is, the change started when she changed towards him. So people may turn around and say, oh, he was a narcissist, he was self absorbed, he was this, he was that, whatever. All it took to break that was her showing some understanding of him. So that's what I'm saying. Narcissism, sociopathy, and self absorption, and all that is often a result of not feeling understood. So, answering your question, in terms of encouragement, I would recommend go and learn, go and get some books, go through some courses. Yet make sure that the person you're listening to is at least an example of what they're talking about. I've gone through a lot of relationship courses. And what astounds me is I've gone through a lot of these courses and they end up being 2 hours long. And like 2 hours for a whole lifetime? Are you kidding me? What of any value can I get from a 2 hour program? And they're usually garbage. I do have two programs, and they're about 9 hours each. Yet with me, as you know, Nomsa, you get lifetime support for free. And if you do need therapy afterwards, I give highly discounted rates compared to going to a normal counsellor. Please check NOMS's details in the description box for those details. And also, not only that, the therapy that I do is somewhat different. I do hypnotherapy, I do offshoots to acupuncture and the like. So I can work on issues such as insomnia, bedroom issues. There's something actually now called bedroom divorce, where couples get divorced because the partner takes the sheets and hogs the sheets, and so they're cold in winter. I can cover things like that. I can work on migraines, anxiety, depression, PTSD, trauma, back pain, arthritis, asthma. If you can think of any emotional, mental, physical issue, I can pretty much cover it. And I'm not allowed to use the word heal because the body heals itself. Yet I can let the body come to that point where it heals those issues. And again, these discounts are not limited, that they last for the rest of your life. So if you go through my program and you finish today, if in 10 years' time you start having arthritis or asthma or whatever issue, or you've lost or your partner's pass away, I'm not saying on which date, I'm just saying, let's say they pass away. So you're grieving, you can come to me and I can help with that grief. And so those discounts apply for the rest of your life, including the free coaching part as well. It is coming through a Facebook group. I am looking at moving away from Facebook and having an internal community. That's in the process. Yet for now, I'm using Facebook groups. Those links are in your membership area. So, and that is for free for the rest of your life as well. Something I've never heard of a counselor say, look, I'll give you 6 sessions and after that, I won't charge you ever again. That's basically what you're getting with me. So that's what I recommend. But just keep on learning. And most importantly, I think, Nomsa, out of all this is communication. Most people
Yeah.
really are poor communicators. We think we're all good. Um,
I think it's communication and learning more and having the desire to get to know the other person as well and get to know yourself as well, growing like grow together. It's communication and growing, allowing yourselves to grow together.
uh, funny story. Linda and I, in our early days, we used to go to, when it was still open, we used to go to Pizza Hut for lunch. And we'd spend 3, 4 hours there. And my sister would turn around and say, what have you got to say for 3, 4 hours? And we were just sitting there saying, well, we just spoke, It's like,
I think it's just having a laugh and just let it loose and not like not giving it like about life. Just life is life. We live for once. We don't live for tomorrow. I was like, just living, plan your life for tomorrow or 5 years time, but
Yep.
enjoy every moment while you are here. Because
Yeah.
what people do is they plan goals, but they cling into that goal, and then it becomes annoying. So
I do have that issue a little bit because I am so future orientated when I get to Europe to be with Milena. This current I'm in Australia, in case you haven't noticed, folks, with my accent. Um, so I am very future orientated, yet I also do live in the moment. So when I'm on the phone or speak with Milena, I am very much in the present moment. And it's amazing how time flies. When you're having fun and you're just
it
communicating,
flies, it flies,
time flies.
yeah.
Look, I've got 5 minutes, and before you know it, half an hour's gone, an hour's gone. You go, oh,
I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go I've got to go watch my daughter.
yeah, no worries. Well, lovely speaking with you, Nomsa. And folks, if you got any questions, if I may, Nomsa, you can go through Nomsa or through me. You can contact me through Nomsa, or again, those details will be in the description box if you want to send me an email, whatever. I'm happy to help you guys out.